All right, folks. If you've hopped on this early in the video, you are in the pre-show for the IT Business Podcast. We will wait a few minutes for people to catch up and get into the chat and see how things are going this evening. Get my swig of water. Let's see, today, May 4th. May the 4th be with you. How many times have you heard that today?
I've seen it on LinkedIn maybe 20 times, maybe not that many, but there were some pretty good ones.
Yeah, I ignored it. But I do have
Oh, nice.
my Star Wars books that a listener sent me that at some point I have to at least start reading. Are you into the Star Wars?
Yeah.
Really?
I wouldn't say I'm a hardcore fan, but I'm into them. And actually, you had that book right there with Darth Plagueis because he was this Emperor's. That was his master. And so sometimes my son, I do it. It's because it annoys him. He's 10 years old, and I'll go up to him. I go, Joshua, have I ever told you the story of Darth Plagueis? And he gets so mad at me. He gets so mad. He's like, "Stop telling me that story."
Oh wow!
From the Revenge of the Sith, where they're sitting at that opera, I guess, and Palpatine starting to tell Anakin about his master and how he killed him. He didn't say it was him who killed him, but it was him.
Yeah. So, Ryan, I need to ask you. So the last time we chatted and earlier, it wasn't that bad. But do you have any earbuds to pop in? I'm getting a echo and feedback right now.
Yeah, I can try.
Okay. And hello, Derek, in the chat. No, my name is not Darth Marv.
Darth Uncle Marv. All right, I'll try these out.
There is I didn't realize that this was, so there's Darth Plagueis and Darth Bane. I didn't realize that that's what that was.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Darth Bane, but yeah, Darth Plagueis was the Emperor's master.
Okay.
Try these out.
All right, first, can you hear me?
I can, not as well. I'm trying to setting here for the audio. Let me make sure it's switching to. I'm gonna have to switch it to the headphones.
Yeah, settings and then audio, and then can do that there.
Yeah, and of course, picking them up. I don't see.
You don't see them at the bottom when you click on the settings and the audio. They don't.
Yeah, speakers. Maybe these speakers. Let me try this.
Okay, there. Yeah, I see you there, John. May the 4th be with you. Yeah, got that all freaking day.
Yeah, they're coming. Is this better, Marv?
It's a little better.
Okay.
So I think I can filter the rest out. So that should be good.
I'm having a harder time hearing you though with these on.
It didn't switch over?
Yeah, it switched. I'm just not hearing.
Okay.
Hearing as well.
I'll speak up.
Let me try one thing.
Use the Force, Ryan.
Luke, you must use. All right, I think we're good.
All right, we'll go ahead and go, and I will filter out the audio the best I can later. For those of you that are here watching the video, please bear with us. We understand your patience. And the lighting is horrible in this space. I'll figure it out. All right, we are going to start the show. Let me start the recording, and Off we go. Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of the IT Business Podcast. I am your host, Marvin B. This is the podcast. If you have a managed services business, computer repair shop, or you are a solo IT entrepreneur, this is the show where we try to help you run your business better, smarter, and faster. We try to do this thing every week where we provide you with product stories and tips to do that. And we tackle nice little subjects like the one we're going to do tonight. My guest, Ryan Nichols from MSP Disposal. Ryan, how are you?
Good. How are you doing, Marv?
I am doing pretty good. And as people in the chat have already said, and I'm sure you've heard all day long, may the 4th be with you.
Yeah, heard it a few times.
Yep. And I even saw I don't know if they were trying to start a campaign to make it a month-long celebration. I think that's a bit much.
Yeah, I think a day is good.
I think an hour would be good. So May the 4th at 4 p.m. would probably
go.
be
1 hour.
the right amount of time for me. So I want to thank you all for joining in, especially if you are here live. This is a show that I try to do every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. We stream live to YouTube and the Facebook, and occasionally we will stream to LinkedIn Live, which we are doing tonight. And I appreciate the people that I have seen join us from there. This is one of those topics that I think will interest business people as well as us in the IT service industry. E-waste and recycling seems to be one of those issues that we thought would be solved many years ago. There's myths about how much is actually being disposed of properly. A lot of people just think it's being recycled. A lot of people say, well, e-waste is recycling, but recycling isn't e-waste. All of these things. So Ryan, I hope that you can help us out with a little bit of that tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not going to say, I'm the absolute expert on it, but I guess I am the expert here for tonight. So, electronic waste would be like it sounds. It's any electronics that need to be disposed of. So, we're talking about computers, talking about networking gear, really anything in between. I guess as far as what we do, it is going to be mainly in the networking gear, computer space mainly. But you can be talking about cell phones. You're going to be talking about TVs. We don't get into that a whole lot, but that would be considered electronic recycling as well, because we're working mainly with managed service providers, hosting providers, contract manufacturers. Then we're talking about laptops, talking about servers, desktops, anything that's networking, Ethernet switches, firewalls, batteries, anything that's involved in the connectivity of computers, and anything that's actually in the processing. So again, that's what we do in that space. But there it is, like you said, it is a really big array of what it is and what it's not.
Yeah. So here in Florida, that's where I am located. We've got some funky things that have happened over the years. I'm on my 3rd business recycling partnership that I've worked with over the years. When I started out, I tried to take my stuff over to the county. They would have a once a month where if you were a resident, you could bring over stuff and dispose of it.
Mm-hmm.
But they kind of caught on that if you bring more than one computer, one printer, whatever, that you're a business and they don't allow you to recycle through those programs.
Yeah.
So then I had to go find a recycler, and there's a ton of metal recyclers that won't take computer parts.
Yeah.
And then there were a bunch of computer recyclers that didn't really do any e-waste. And I found that out because I would go over and take stuff on Saturday, and all of the things that they could pull out and resell, or all the computers that they could rebuild, they'd have a little store that they would sell out of, or a website, and then everything else would just be dumped out back. in the
Mm.
dumpster, just like yahoos like me would do. So that got me a little suspicious of
Right.
stuff. And then I also found that probably the worst offenders are us IT people, because our shops usually are just full of stuff anyway. So
Right.
why take on our customer stuff?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of a I guess for a managed service provider, it just really depends. You know, I talk to mainly managed service providers all day, and I would say most of them probably do take their customer stuff, at least the ones I talk to. I think it's just for them, it's an extra service to provide. It probably helps maybe when they're getting that initial business to win a deal against a competitor. But it's always something like it doesn't sound like people they want to take it. It's really it's a more like it's a have to. Um, and so it is a very usually a welcome call when I do call, because what I hear most times is they are working with the local recycling yard, you know, but that involves actually having to get in the car, having to take the stuff to the center. That takes time out of the day, and sometimes it's multiple trips. You may have like a local recycler that comes and takes the stuff again. It just really depends on the situation. But a lot I talk to, they don't really have a good solution. You know, their solution is I ask them, what do you do with the hard drives? It's I take them to a shooting range. I shoot a bunch of holes in them. I got a drill press. I got a hammer. You know, which is always pretty. You know, makes for a good story on the telephone. But maybe not necessarily the most efficient way. But I get it. I mean, you gotta get rid of that data. So what else do you do?
Right. And a lot of us will, we'll wipe the drives if they're a decent enough hard drive,
Mhm.
500, 1 terabyte. Solid state drives, we'll wipe them and resell them ourselves if we've
Right.
got the certified wiping software. But it'll be interesting. So let's go back a little bit. So we had you guys on a couple of years ago,
Hmm.
and I actually had you guys come and pick up a load.
Okay. Nice.
And then I have no idea what happened to it. I
Well, hopefully
think it
everything
was,
happened correctly.
I hope so as well. So let's first start with giving everybody a little bit more of a description what MSP disposal is, and then we'll
Okay.
talk about what things have changed in the last couple of years for you guys.
Okay. So MSP Disposal, we are an e-waste company. Um, we are working in, again, as I said, mainly in the managed service provider space, but not exclusively. Managed service providers are the fastest growing, I would say, vertical or market that we have encountered in the last couple of years, but it's not the only type of company we work with. We work with hosting providers, again, some contract manufacturers. We work with some larger software as a service companies. Some of that includes Fortune 100 and Fortune, I'm sorry, 100 and 500 companies. It's really a gamut, anywhere from down to like the smallest managed service provider with a few people, and to again these large corporations. But if you were look at our customers, the majority of it would be in the managed service provider space. So that's why last year, I believe it was around March, May, April last year, we actually had a rebranding effort from our parent company, which is called Minus Tech, which still exists, but now we are known as MSP Disposal. It was really our effort to better serve the MSP space, because you hear Minus Tech and you may not really conjure anything up, but you hear MSP Disposal, there's no mistaking like what we do. It's like I really don't have to tell you what I do. I just MSP Disposal. Like, okay, well, yes, you do disposal for managed service providers. So that's where we are now, and our website that we came out with about a year ago, which was I believe years in the development, has really changed things a lot as well. It is allowed for visibility for everybody, transparency, and also a lot of automation, which we're continually. I mean, anyone listening, anyone knows that's in software. You're continually improving. There's continually new developments that are coming out, so we're always continually to make things better. Like you're saying, better, faster, smoother, easier. And a real big thing for us is automating. Taking things that took us 10 steps before. Now, can we get it down to 5 steps? And saves time for us, save time for the customer. So for me, I love the website, and it's been really great for the customers too. Just how it just, again, just makes the whole process a lot smoother.
So I know that when I first spoke to you guys, and I think Brooks was on the show
Yep.
then, and at the time, you guys were just kind of expanding. You hadn't gone as far as you do now. It seems as though you guys are picking up pretty much all over the country now. It used to be, you know, from the Carolinas down to Florida
Hmm.
and back because, at the time, focusing on the East Coast. So
Right.
how far out do you reach?
So as far as with the with managed service providers, and again, it just had to be just MSPs. It could be banks. It could be anybody, but it's going to be the whole country. Well, let me say that the lower 48.
Okay.
So we can work with anybody, and the reason for that is nice segue you gave there, Marv, is because maybe a year or two ago, well, it's probably been a couple of years, we started working with Fedex. They had a new program that came out. It's a FedEx Freight Box program, and so what it is this: it's a Gaylord. It's a large box. It's a box with a pallet on the bottom built in. And so what we do is we partner with them and we send these large boxes out to anyone, to any of our customers, again, all across the country. And so they can go in, and now it's nice. They can go into our website and they can schedule these boxes, or I'm sorry, they can go in to have a box delivered. So they request a box. They say, here's the address. They want it to, it can go to them, can go to their customer. They get the box. And then when the box is full, they will go in and they will request a pickup. And that's through the website as well. And so FedEx comes and they pick the box up. We provide them labels. We provide them the bill of lading. So all they have to do is just make sure they're present when the driver comes. They will even come with a lift gate and a pallet jack because most of our customers do not have forklifts. But yeah, that's the homepage to the portal. And so they will come with a pallet jack and a lift gate if you don't have a dock or a forklift, and they will come and take it back to our warehouse in Columbia, South Carolina. So that's where the process starts. So right before, if it was just a truck run at the East Coast, now we really can literally work with anybody in the lower 48.
All right. And for those of you that are able to see us on video, I've put up the website, like you said, mspdisposal.com. And you can just simply go there and make a request. Now, is there anything that people need to do, special when they're, making a request? Do they have to give you, how much stuff we have? And do you have to know if it's going to be 1, 2, 20 pallets and stuff like that?
Yeah. So, and if you go to the website, you wouldn't be able to log in automatically. We have to give you login access. So it's just as easy as contacting us and saying, "Hey, I want to get access to the website." And so we just create you a login ID, which is usually an email address. We can make it if there's if you don't want it your own email address, we can make it like it sells at or opsat your domain name, but usually it's to that individual's email, and then we create a password. And once that's done, they're good. They're live. They go in. There's a request tab, and that's where you go in and request a box, and that's where you go back in to request a pickup. And so you do need to tell us how many boxes you need. And so you need to tell us how many boxes you need. You don't have to tell us everything that's going to be in it, but we need to know the number of boxes because we have to put that request in with FedEx. Okay.
Now, let's talk about the fact that you've said that you specialize in MSPs in the last couple of years. It's been the fastest growing segment for you.
Yeah.
You also pick up for just regular businesses as well?
Yes. Not a lot of, I would say, non-MSPs, but yes, we can pick up regular business. We have some businesses are more geared like they're in the medical world. We just work with them directly. We work with some banks. I'm trying to think, who else would be like not a technology provider. It was some kind of technology provider, but there are ones, and I just can't think of any specific examples right now that aren't an MSP, but they have stuff that they didn't regularly need to get rid of, and so we just work with them work with them directly. So to us, it doesn't really matter. If you have electronic waste and you need to get rid of it, then you're a good candidate.
Well, my thought comes up that if I've got a client and we do a network refresh, rather than bring all that stuff back to my office, could I contact you guys and say, hey, I need you to pick up this stuff from my client? It's, 2
Yeah.
servers, 20 workstations, that sort of a thing.
Right. And we do that all the time because logistically it may make more sense to pick up from your client than from you because now, in many cases, the client is not anywhere near you. You may have a client that's literally cross country. Most cases, we're seeing that the clients are in the regional geography or locally, but we do have some customers that their clients are literally on the other side of the country, so they couldn't go and get their customer stuff. But that's okay because with these boxes, we can just send them to the customer, assuming that our customer has told them what's going on, and they just in a portal. They just need to tell us, who's the customer, who's their email, how many boxes, and that's pretty much it. And then our customer and their end user will just coordinate on the back end about everything.
All right. Now let's get a little bit more into the weeds with a couple of things. So
Yeah.
you guys actually do a lot of stuff where you itemize what's in the box. So,
Yes.
Most of the recyclers, when our guys come, they just come and grab it and go.
Right.
And then the only thing I see afterwards is we do have a pickup charge because that's no longer free.
Right.
And then they bill us now per battery, which we didn't know on the last invoice. All of a sudden we got like $100 in battery charges.
Oh, wow. Seems a lot.
So it's a little bit different, but talk about that process of not only what do you pick up, but why do you itemize it that way?
Okay. Yeah, there's something else too I want to touch on really quick too. It's really the main thing that we do, and we do itemize. The main thing that we do is get rid of the data, and so that's our number one priority is eliminating the data. And so when we receive the boxes in, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take their hard drives and we're going to tie them to a certificate that's tied to the serial number, and that's just to let our customer know when they go into the portal that the drives are actually in. They're actually in our possession. So that way, okay, they know we have them. Then we lock them away until we can get them onto the servers. So once we can get onto our servers, we're using active kill disk, DoD 3-pass to wipe the drives. So we go in, we'll wipe the drives, and once the data is gone, then there will be certificates that's generated from active kill disk that they can go on to the portal, and they can download, they can view at any time. So as we say, that's the heartbeat of our business is getting rid of the data. And that's why a lot of times people don't know what to do with their stuff. They literally have closets full of it because they're scared of the implications with the data. They can't just, in good faith, just throw it out and hope nothing happens to it, especially if it's not even their own stuff, which most of the time it's not, it's their customer stuff. Obviously that's huge liability, potential lawsuits that nobody wants to touch or get into. So that's important part we provide. And then, Marv, to get into what you had asked about the itemization, it's kind of not separately, but at the same time that the hard drives are being wiped, we are also looking at this stuff, and we're going through the box and we're itemizing it. And we even have a tab that's called inventory. And so once we get to a customer's box, they can go to inventory tab. We'll tell them everything that was in their box because they know we got their stuff. It's going to be tied to the Fedex number, tracking number. But they can actually go and see, as we're going through it, which stuff is going to be disposed and which stuff is actually going to be put up either on eBay or we're going to sell to directly to buyers or brokers. And so, again, they can see everything. They'll know, is this getting disposed, why it's being disposed. Okay, well, this item is going to be listed. Actually, we're going to put a value we think it's going to go for. And then, in a week or so, they'll see it actually pop up on eBay. So that's the other part we do that makes us different from most of everybody else is that revenue part of it is where we're actually sharing revenue back, 30% revenue back with the client of the gross selling price.
Well, that'll be cool.
Right. So it's an extra revenue stream that they can receive on their stuff. And what we tell everybody is say, hey, our service to you is no cost. But however, because we are big on transparency, there's a charge. And for that box, it's $350. So the way that works is we don't bill you and we don't invoice you for it. So that really helps everybody out. You're not getting a bill and we're not having to do extra steps of accounting. But what we do is we take it off what we owe you. So we just take it off the top. So for example, if Barb, let's just say that we had your stuff and let's just say $1,000 of it sold this month, then the first thing that we would do is take that 350 off the top. And then after that, whatever the remainder is, we're going to multiply by 30%. Next month, around the 15th, we're going to cut a check and we're going to mail that to you.
Okay. Now I want to go back and find out where my box is.
Uh-oh, I better tell the warehouse guys we got a 3-year-old box to find.
Yeah. So before we continue on, I want to take
Yeah.
a quick moment here. We've got a couple of questions in the chat, but I do
Okay.
want to make sure that I pay a couple of bills here. So we are going to mention our sponsors. This show, IT Business Podcast, is presented by NetAlly. NetAlly is your ally for all your network diagnostic needs. They have the best in handheld tools to help you design, diagnose, troubleshoot all of your networking stuff in as little as 10 seconds. So head over to netally.com and get all of your networking needs taken care of. The live show is actually brought to you by Computers Done Right, managed services provider Done Right, committed to providing superior managed IT services and support to ensure your business operates at full capacity. And just like it says there, computersdoneright.com. And last, I need to make an announcement because this September 16th through 18th, I want you all to sign up and attend with me the 2022 annual TechCon Unplugged. It is in Chicago again this year. And Paco and Rick over at MSP Unplugged are putting on another great show for us where it is basically techs, teaching techs alongside with the best vendors in our industry that are helping us as MSPs to grow our business in a partnership. So that will be coming up again this September 16th through the 18th. Head over to techconunplugged.com and sign up. And if you want to do so, you can use a discount code ITBP75 off. And that will get you $75 off the ticket price, letting them know that Uncle Marv directed you to the site, and get yourself a ticket there. All right. Bills paid.
There you go.
So let's go back. We had, before I get to the ones in the chat, I did have a question that came into me before the show.
Okay.
Gentleman or lady, I forget, asked if you were R2 certified. They said that they had gone to your website and could not see if you were. First of all, what is R2 certified?
R2 certification is just and again, I preface this, I'm not an expert on this part of it, but my understanding is just it's certification saying that you are certified to handle recycling of materials and that you are not going to have it go basically in a landfill. So it's a certification is that, hey, it's going to be recycled by proper means and it's not going to end up into a landfill. At least when I see that R2, that's what I think of is that, okay, they're not going to just go dump this in somebody's backyard or something. So we work with R2 certified recyclers to be able to stuff that has to be disposed, but it's becoming now where we're not even have to working with them much anymore because, and this is another good thing to bring up about another initiative we started. We have a big sustainability initiative now. So we actually purchased another warehouse, I believe the latter part of last year, maybe the first part of this year. And the whole part of that warehouse is sustainability. And so now everything that needs to be disposed that we can't resell on eBay goes to that warehouse. And so another thing we started doing was we started working with these rage and smash rooms. You remember like the movie Office Space, where the guy just went bananas on the printer? Well, you actually can pay people to go to these rage and smash rooms, and it's not just electronics; it's glassware. I mean, it's anything. Cars, I've seen with like cars, and you just go in there and you pay for an hour, half an hour, and you just get out your frustration, and you just beat the stuff to it's nothing else. And so we actually, these rage rooms and smash rooms started reaching out to us and say, "You guys got any like extra stuff that you'd be willing to offer us?" And we said, "Yeah, we got a lot of it." So we've actually now have been proactive in reaching out to these rage and smash rooms and saying, "Hey, we got this extra electronic waste that we can provide to you. We'll offer to you, we'll sell to you." And then it's good for them because a lot of these rage and smash rooms have to look for it. So we can be a constant supplier to them. So it's good on many fronts. We're getting rid of stuff, so we're not having to work with third parties. We can just offer it directly to these smash and rage rooms. They're having a good partner to have a reliable source, and there's the mental health aspect of it as well that we're being a part of as well, just to release that frustration, and it's all bottled up, and just I guess there's something cathartic about just taking a bat and smashing the fool out of something. So that to answer that question, yeah, we are getting to be self-sufficient where we're not having to even work with third-party R2 certified vendors anymore.
So it's rage and smash.
Rage and smash rooms, yeah. You just go to Google or whatever just type in rage room or smash room, and it'll bring up a whole list of them. There's like 200 or 300 just in our country.
Cheese and crackers. So I could open up my space here and rent out, hey, come smash some stuff. But here's the thing. But then but who then has to dispose of that stuff? I mean, it's still got to go somewhere.
That's a good question. And I've thought about that too. Some of these rooms you can run their websites, and they usually list about their recyclables, what they do. And some of them will, they'll take it to a recycler, or they have some kind of method they get rid of it. But yeah, you kind of wonder, what do they do when they're done with it? That's that you'd have to ask the rage and smash rooms on that one. But that's a good question, because it's all got to end up somewhere, doesn't it?
It does. It does. So I know that you had kind of gone over a list of stuff at the beginning of the show of what you do and do not take. I do not remember hearing this. And Chris asked, can you also take audio video equipment?
Yeah. We'll take any electronic waste. We don't get a lot of AV equipment in, but yeah, if you got enough to fill up a box, then and we'll take it. And another thing I should say too is I get this asked all the time. Do you have any minimum or maximum requirements, or do you have any length requirements? Meaning, do I have a certain amount of time that I have to send a box? So no, there is no minimum or maximum requirement when a box has to be sent back to us. It's just whenever the box is full, let us know and we'll schedule a pickup. So that way, it's just whenever you need us, we're here. We're not like hounding you all the time. Hey, where's that box? Where's that box? Where's that box? When you need us, okay, great. Go put in the request for a pickup, and we'll take care of it. But yeah, we can take AV equipment too.
So this box that you send, the FedEx box, is it like fully enclosed? Is there a lid on it, or is it just a big bin that you just dump stuff in like a dumpster and then they come pick it up like a pod? Yeah,
I've actually wrote the dimensions down. You think I would remember them by now. So the dimensions of the box are 48 by 40 by 28. So it's a large box. And so the way that it comes is collapsed, because you have a box that big is going to take up a lot of space. So they do come collapsed. They do come with a lid, and they do come with straps. So even at those dimensions, you can fit it behind a door, or you could put it in a closet, and it won't take a whole lot of space up. But again, once you pop that thing open, it does take takes a bit of floor space. So, but usually once it's popped open, you're not going to have it in wherever it's at for very long, because at that point you're ready to get it out of there pretty quickly.
Okay. And this next question actually kind of goes to when you talked about the hard drive wiping. So I wipe all my drives before I give them to my recycler. And I'll use that as my opportunity to bill the client for the wiping of those drives. But in this case, when you're sending stuff off, Brandon asked, how is the data secured during transit?
Mhm.
Our recycling sister company sends out secure lock boxes to their customers, and then the boxes go into a locked down area at the warehouse for destruction.
Right. So, and we've gotten asked that before too. I would say if anyone's that concerned about the data part of it, then just don't send the hard drives. Let us just take care of everything else. I mean, these boxes have straps on them, 2 to 4 straps. Um, we've never had anyone break into a FedEx truck or our own truck. Could it happen? Of course. I'm not going to lie and say it couldn't, because then everybody would, call me a liar, of course. But we've never had it happen. But that's our response. If someone is that concerned, and you should be, it's your data. We don't minimize that at all. But we just say, hey, just keep the drives, and we'll take care of everything else. And I had a customer recently that was a concern. I did a demo with the admin, one of the tech guys, and he loved it. And the CEO said, "Yeah, I don't know about all these FedEx trucks and stuff." And hey, I said, "Completely understand. Keep the drives, and we'll take care of everything else." He said, "Okay," because they need to get rid of the other stuff too. So that way, I see as a win-win for everybody. You take care of the drives how you want, and we'll take care of everything else there's no data on, and get that out of your hair.
All right. It is amazing how people get all wigged out with, how secure is it? And they don't realize a lot of times stuff comes to them the same way it goes out.
Right.
FedEx, UPS. I mean, when I build a computer and ship it to a client, they don't ask that.
Right.
After I've installed their software and all of their stuff and,
Right.
connected it to their network through the VPN or, to make sure it works. They
Yeah.
don't ask that. But I guess when you save all of your kids' pictures in there, it becomes an issue.
Yeah, I get it. And it also too depends on your, the business too, because there's some businesses that information is more super sensitive than the others. So, I mean, if you're talking like government, federal contracts and stuff like that, I mean, you got to be super careful with that data. So I guess it just depends what's the data. And again, depending on what it is, I may be saying the same thing, but that's a good point that you bring up too.
Well, the biggest thing is that we, as the IT service provider, that's our job, is to
Right.
protect the client and to make sure
Exactly.
that that's done for them. And that's
Right.
one reason why I wipe the drives. I let the customer knows I'm going to do it. So you don't
Mhm.
worry about who, is doing it. It might be somebody's kid
Yeah.
wiping the
Right.
drive, and they may or may not do it. And they may say, oh, this is a good drive. And now, having said that, and I just looked at my notes and realized when I said kid, you guys actually have a little intern program that you work with. So
Yeah.
I don't want to offend those kids that come and work for you. So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. So the way that it started, so our headquarters is in Columbia, South Carolina, which is where the University of South Carolina is as well, and that's where Brooks that you had on before. He is the founder and CEO. He is an alumni, and being very good at networking as he is, he has stayed in close relations to the business and the whatever their computer engineering school is called there. And so, as he's been scaling the business for the last few years, realizing you need to have a good workforce, but you're also talking about a lot of this is it's in a warehouse. So what he has done is worked with the University of South Carolina, and a lot of our techs are interns from the university. And so what he's done is built out a program where they're getting real world experience from us. They're getting e-commerce experience, warehousing experience, logistics experience, computers experience, parts experience, maybe some other things that I'm not even thinking of working there. But also he has a trainer come in. I believe it's once a week on Thursdays or Fridays, and for maybe a few hours, this trainer actually goes over the requirements that they need to take their TIA plus certification. So he actually trains them on that, and we actually pay them for that as well. So they, they have to take the test, but we're training them to be able to do that. So a lot of these interns will stay on with us and they become full-time employees. But even if they don't, they move somewhere else. They have received world-class experience, real world working experience with us. And if they choose to, they can get a pretty well-known certification. So again, that's worked out really well. And so then, Brooks, being a good entrepreneur that he is, and a good ideas guy, he's always come up with good ideas, is that he was like, I wonder if this works for us, if this would work for other companies, maybe the MSP space. And so kind of started asking around. It's like, hey, do you guys what if we could help you find good interns, would that be a help? And like, yeah, there's with the worker shortage right now. I don't get into all that, but I think maybe the problem is just pairing the right people with the right companies. And so what we've done is we are now building out a database of either interns or recent college graduates who want to get into the IT space. Maybe managed service providers, maybe some other kind of technology company as well. And so we qualify them, we find them, and then we pair them with an MSP that wants an intern. And so the MSP is not having to look for these people. We found them, and we divided it up by the city. And so if we know if somebody is in Fort Lauderdale or in Columbia or in Spokane or wherever, we can say, okay, well, here's the candidates we have here. Introduce them. Of course, the MSP is going to interview them, and then the MSP can decide if they want to take them on. Now, as far as the agreement, there's actual agreement that we have with the technology provider saying that, okay, since we did find this person for you, we've qualified them. Now there is going to be there's a monthly charge. We do a yearly contract, but we try to share the revenue, because just like we train our own interns, we're going to train them as well. And so again, the end of the week, the intern can get on whatever it is, few hours, and they'll be virtually where we're doing this with our interns in house, and they're going to be trained on their CompTIA A+ certification, and we pay for that. So that's why I'm saying we're sharing. The MSP is going to have to pay for the person, but we're going to pay for the training. And so again, it's still in its infancy. It's not, because the disposal thing has been 10 years. We pretty much, it's a well-oiled machine, and so we're starting off with this. But we've had a few cases where it's been really good, and I know at least one case, a guy out in Texas, he actually hired the guy on. So that was good for everybody. So yeah, it's I'm glad you asked. Again, it's just something else. We're thinking how to branch out from just disposal. How can we basically diversify into other things that are related to technology space that where we see a need and a niche where maybe there's nobody else that's actually filling that need.
All right, interesting. Now, if people want to inquire about that program, do they do that at the website as well through the form?
Yeah, they can go to the website for the candidates. It actually says candidate sign up. So if you're actually a person that's looking for you're looking for work, or looking for looking for an internship, then you would do the candidate sign up and put your information in. And then if you're a technology provider, an MSP, or whomever, you can reach out to me and I can go over the process, the entire process with you, what it entails. Pretty much everything I've gone over, but there's a few more details. But that's pretty much what I've shared is pretty much the crux of it.
All right, and I'm going to put up the website one more time, mspdisposal.com. So you'll want to go there, and let me share out another piece of the website here, because I think something that people may want to take note of is that not only are you dealing with some pretty big companies, but we've got an IT company there right in the middle, Kaseya, one of the companies you guys work with.
Right.
Broadcom is there. I know Broadcom.
Yeah, that's large. That's a large. That's what I was saying. We work with some larger companies as well. You know, in our portfolio of companies, there's a mix. So there are some larger Fortune 100 and 500 companies. We work with some larger hosting providers, data centers. We do work with some contract manufacturers. So those are our bigger clients, and that's really still why there's the minus tech, because that's really when we're facing them. It's more as minus tech. But then being in front of the managed service provider space, where all the marketing efforts are going to be MSP disposal.
All right. And once again, folks, I'll have all that information on the show notes page, and also a way for you to contact Ryan here if you want to inquire about the intern program. All right. Well, Ryan, we have come to the part of the show that I'm sure you have been looking forward to and all excited about, the Florida Man Challenge, where you can either present your own story to rival Florida Man or answer a random question. And what have you decided to do for today?
I decided to rival. I know this is going to be a hard thing to come up against. It's kind of like Rocky going up against Ivan Drago in Rocky 4. But I'll take it my best shot.
All right. What story do you have?
All right, I got a couple I found. So I'm originally from Georgia. That's where I grew up. So I figured, man, there's got to be some good stories out of Georgia. You know, no offense, but my home state can be pretty
Florida Georgia line. Come on now.
Yeah, it can be pretty colorful. So I found and actually the website's called Only in Your State. So I found this. It said, okay, Larry McElroy of Lee County, Georgia, shot an armadillo, and the bullet ricocheted off the animal into the back door of his mother-in-law's home and right into her back. Good news, the 70-year-old woman was taken to the hospital and is expected to recover.
Wow. Okay, first of all, what kind of gun was it? They probably didn't describe
it
that.
Didn't even say. Yeah, I didn't say. I'm guessing it wasn't. I'm guessing it's not a shotgun. You know, it must have been like a rifle. I'm hoping like a small caliber rifle or maybe a small caliber handgun.
Oh man.
But it doesn't. Yeah, it does. It doesn't. I'm just going to assume it wasn't a shotgun because I mean pellets just spray out everywhere.
And dude was 54.
So yeah, that's like, you know, you think it's like, okay, the internet. I'm like, is this real? I mean, someone could make this up, but I'm thinking that's so odd. That's got to be real, unless somebody's just so creative they just came up with that. I guess, you know, these days you just can't even tell. But if that is true, I mean, it's, I don't know. It's just, it struck me as like really out there and as funny. So I have one more.
Okay.
So this one says, compliance officer breaks into woman's house to serve ticket for overgrown grass. So code compliance officer Jimmy Vowell was watching too much bounty hunter shows when he broke into a woman's house to serve her a ticket for her overgrown lawn. The homeowner, Erica Masters, caught the whole incident on tape. The officer broke into Masters' home one early morning and went into her room, demanding she signed the ticket. When she called 911, she was forwarded to the officer's supervisor, and he was fired from his job. However, he was not arrested for breaking and entering the home.
Oh my.
Okay. I was like, okay, so again, it's like I could totally see that one happening.
Yeah.
I could see that happening in Georgia too.
So normally I would, you know, just hear one story and then I give you the option to choose between numbered stories.
I'm sorry.
But I'll go ahead and share both of these. And I'm going to share the second one first. And the third one is even better that I would have had on the list. But the first one comes with a pictorial view. So I'm going to add this here. And it starts with Robert Guarini bought the car for $704,000.
Wow.
So here is that car minus your website. A Ford GT owner in Florida crashed his recently purchased $704,000 classic supercar because he was unfamiliar with manual transmission.
Oh, geez.
50-year-old Robert Guarini recently became the proud owner of the 2006 Heritage Edition Ford GT. However, shortly after purchasing it, he smashed it into a tree, completely trashing the front of the vehicle. So there is the car after he got it. So it's a nice looking vehicle. But $704,000, eek.
Wow.
So I'll have a link to that. But then the second story, this is your PG-13 or R-rated version. A man has been arrested for allegedly killing another homeless man in a Florida encampment over his public masturbatory habits. Polk County Sheriff Grady Judge said that his office was called to a homeless encampment in Winter Haven where they found a body buried in a shallow grave in the Eloise Jungle or encampment. He says that police also saw a man who ran away after they gave chase. The man was identified as Robert Simmons, also known as Mexico.
Wow.
And witnesses said he had previously gotten into an altercation with the 39-year-old victim. So the victim, I'm trying to scoop over some of these stories, but so apparently the police were searching for him for 18 hours before they found him in the woods and captured him.
Yikes.
And he is now being charged with second-degree murder, tampering with evidence, I guess, and resisting. All because he didn't like how the other guy masturbated. That's just, nasty. So there you go. Florida man. That's my state.
Yeah, I can't top those.
All right, well, Ryan, I think that's going to do it. I thank you for coming back on the show. Well, this is your first time on the show, but I was glad to have you guys come back. Like I said, you guys were on back in 2020 and wanted to get you on and talk about this. And I think it's, like you said, not only is it a growing industry for you guys, but it's a growing concern for a lot of us. I know a lot of techs that just keep crap in their office because they don't know what to do with it. Now they know they can call you. FedEx box can show up and they can get rid of it and possibly make some money.
Yeah, definitely. We'd love to help. Anyone who wants to reach out to me, I'd be glad to talk to them, email, however they want to communicate, have a quick conversation with them, and if they think it's a fit, we'll get them an account and take it from there.
All right. Well, folks, if you've joined us live, I appreciate you joining us live. We are here most Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, and I will try to have a bunch of stuff for you at all times. Next week, I don't know who is on. We had a little scheduling mishap that the guests may not come on, so I'm not going to jinx that. But I know that in a couple of weeks, we've got some good shows. May and June are going to be Synology month. We are going to be having several shows. We're going to do a couple of mini shows before the live show where we are going to be talking all things Synology. So you guys should start getting prepared for that. Also, we are going to be getting some good tax and accounting information. Rayanne Buccianico is going to be joining us again. And all of those are going to be coming up here on the IT Business Podcast. So that's it. Again, thank you for joining us tonight, downloading and subscribing. Please head over to the website, itbusinesspodcast.com. Find any shows that you've missed. Click at the top right. Follow us on any of your podcast catching apparatuses. And that's going to do it. Until next time, holla. And that ends the audio recording. So thank you very much. And let's see, Brandon, Chris, Derek, John, and others in the chat, thank you guys for joining us. If anybody has any questions, we'll stay here for a couple of minutes and answer any. And Ryan, I think that was good. The echo wasn't too bad.
Yeah, appreciate it, Mark.
All right. How's Brooks doing? I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, he stays busy. He's got his hands in a lot of different things. A lot of he's always got ideas and big projects, and so yeah, he's a busy guy. I don't know how he does everything, but he's it's like any entrepreneur I've ever met of like a growing business. They're always on the go, and they just got their hand in so many different areas. It's like oh man, I should have asked that during the show. Yeah, that's awesome.
That would have been, can you recycle droids
that's
from the
awesome.
Empire?
Definitely. Yeah, we definitely can recycle the droids. That's hilarious.
Oh man. That threw me off my game here. I got kicked out of the studio. Oh my goodness gracious. And of course, so Chris is the gentleman who actually sent me the books.
Oh, nice.
Chris, I have to say that I started to open them. So as you can see, there's actually some dog ears on these. So I can't say that I've yet finished the first chapter, but I don't understand. So there's the prologue, and then part 1, enlistment, 67 to 65 years before the Battle of Yavin. So I did not realize, I don't know when the Battle of Yavin was or is, or where that falls into the Star Wars timeline, because of course, they didn't start at the beginning when they put out those movies.
Yeah, they started in the middle, and I don't know if Lucas was, I guess he had. I mean, I watched stuff about it before, but I think they weren't going to call the first movie. I don't think they were initially going to call it Episode 4, and I don't know if it was first released. It was even called. The guy on the chat, Chris, made it. I think better than me.
I think it was just Star Wars: A New Hope, right?
Yeah, and then I think they added the episode. I mean, that was right a little bit before my time.
When they went back and did the first 3, they had to say, "Oh well,
yeah,
okay, that wasn't really the first."
Yeah.
Oh man.
Me and my kids are actually, we've watched The Mandalorian. We all liked it, and wish they'd make. I hope they make more of that. And then we started watching a little bit of Boba Fett, first or second episode. But what I'm really looking forward to is Obi-Wan. I'm glad they're going to bring Ewan McGregor back, because I thought he did fantastic in the prequels as the younger, Ben Kenobi. And then they're actually going to have Christian Hayden's going to be Darth Vader again. So
I don't know who that was.
He was in episodes 2 and episodes 3. He was the one who played Anakin, and so he's going to be
okay.
When he became Darth Vader. So now Obi-Wan is about the time between episodes 3 and 4, where Obi went to Tatooine to watch over Luke as he grew up, and basically make sure the Empire didn't come and kill him.
Okay.
So, but he's a really good actor, and so I like too that they have the same person. I just like it when they're able to continue, but they have to get a new person. So, yeah, it looks like it's gonna be pretty good.
Okay, Obi-Wan.
Yeah, so it's on Disney Plus. It's gonna start, I think, June or July, maybe the end of this month. Here in the next few months, it's going to be the first episode.
Well, I don't have Disney Plus, so I'll have to wait till it shows up on
one
of those TV's channels for the binge weekends or something.
There you go. Yeah, it's going to be so I'm looking forward to just seeing the trailer. Looks really good.
So you're saying the Mandalorian, you hope they bring it back. Now, I
Yeah,
thought that was just like a mini series thing. Was it a full series? Was it a movie?
it
What
was two
was
episodes. I mean, it was 2 seasons. They had 2 seasons. There were 7 or 8 episodes in each season. And so where it ended on the episode, I think 8 of season 2, they brought Luke in. They used the CG, that aging stuff. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, it really looks like he looked 20 or 30 years ago. I guess it was still Mark Hamill's voice, but they made him look like he was 30 years younger, like back in
oh,
the original movies. And he came and he got the child or Grogu, whatever his name is, and you just see him. You take him because he'd been under the Mandalorian's wing pretty much the whole 2 seasons, but it looked like Luke is going to take him to train him in the Force. So it's cool where it left off. I mean, they definitely left it in a place where they could continue on for another season for sure.
so it looks like they have confirmed that they're working on it and they've confirmed some cast members, but that's it. So
That's
here's
it.
my question. What in the world is Carl Weathers doing in a Star Wars
Yeah,
thing?
I know. Man, I saw him. I was like, Carl Weathers. Man, it's like I made me think of the Rocky. Was it Rocky 3? And then Terminator. No, not Terminator. Predator.
Predator.
Predator. That I don't know
No, no, no,
why.
no.
What
Yeah,
else?
Predator. Yeah, it was
He was in
Predator.
Predator. I
Yeah,
mean,
the first one.
I was like 7 years old when that movie came out, and I don't know why in the world my dad let me watch that movie. If my mom had known that I was watching Predator, and he let me watch the original Terminator too, man, my mom, she was not too happy with my dad and let me watch those movies. But I just remember Predator, man. That first movie was like so intense, especially at the end where you got the Predator. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger was huge, but the Predator like even towered over him. Remember, he was chasing him through the jungle, and then Carl Weathers, he gets his arm shut off. And he's like, oh, I know he's still like, I don't think I should be watching this.
That was one of the first movies that I remember where you actually could see spurting blood.
Yeah, I mean, I just remember Carl like he's there like, what is his arms like, and he's still like shooting a gun with his other arm. Like,
Yep,
oh man,
that was
but
interesting.
that movie was really.
So
The
here's a
second one,
question.
I didn't think I mean, it was all right with Danny Glover and what were they like in LA or something, but
Yeah,
the, the, the
that
first
one,
one it was so good. The first one, how it was just so well done.
yeah, the first one was good. The second one, you could tell they were just kind of
Yeah,
capitalizing on it, and I don't think that they really thought it through.
right.
Now, the later Predator movies, obviously they did when they went
Yeah, I
through
never
the.
saw any of the other ones for like Predator versus Alien and
Yeah, I saw
um,
that one. I saw the Predators,
mhm.
where people get snatched from Earth and get taken to this other planet where they're hunted as prey.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Um, there was another one out that I haven't watched yet. I think the last one I have not seen,
Yeah, I
mainly
know there's so
because
many.
my wife doesn't like it.
Yeah, my wife definitely doesn't like those movies at all, and I don't. Yeah, I really didn't. I didn't even see all the second one either. I definitely watched all the. I remember all the first one. I've seen it a couple times.
Yeah. All right. I was going to ask a question when we were still on the Star Wars thing, and
Yeah,
I should know this because I've spoken with, the guru of Star Wars. The question was, is Boba Fett not a Mandalorian? Wait, where'd he go?
he's a bounty hunter. I don't think he's a Mandalorian though.
Yeah, is Boba Fett not a Mandalorian?
No, he's not.
But he bears the Mandalorian armor.
Yeah, they talk about that in the Mandalorian. I don't remember. He got it somehow. I think he got it off of somebody because the Mandalorians were like, they explained in the show, they were like this. What was it? Now I had to go back and watch it. They were like this special class of protectors, bounty hunters, and they had that like the equipment like was just unique to them, some kind of like special metal or whatever that signified that you were a Mandalorian. So if I'm remembering correctly, I think Boba Fett he may have gotten that from a Mandalorian, I may be mixing some of the story up, but they do go over that in one of the episodes because Boba Fett is in one of the Mandalorians. Um, so, and he's the same guy too. He's the same actor from the. Pretty sure he's the same actor from the prequels. So it's really cool that they're continuing. They're able to get these same actors who played the roles like the Emperor. That's the same guy, except that one of the movies it may have just been a different guy's voice, but it's been pretty much that Ian McDermott. He was the Emperor like in all the movies, almost all of them, because even the prequels, the latter two of the originals, and then in I guess the last of the newer ones was him. Like, man, how old is that guy?
Oh, I guess if you can time it right, and
yeah.
I mean, because the Emperor, I mean, he looks old.
Well, he's old now. I looked up.
But he looked old
he's
before.
he's in his 70s, maybe in his 80s now. But they casted him so well. You just can't like see anybody else playing him. I really they did a good job of how he became in the prequels, how he became from this senator, but they showed him how he developed into the Emperor, or I guess he already was in a way, but how he really completely gave himself over to the dark side. I thought he was casted really well.
I'm surprised they haven't gotten Morgan Freeman in there, because
well,
Morgan Freeman was old when I was a kid.
Yeah. I mean, having what's his name? Earl
Anthony Jones.
Earl Jones, doing the voice of Darth Vader. So, man, yeah, if you had Morgan Freeman too, I mean, there's two like iconic voices.
I say that right? It's not.
It's Ray Earl. Is it Ray Earl? I'm saying it wrong too. You think I would know this? And I loved it when he was in the Sandlot.
Ray Earl Jones.
Ray Earl Jones. When he was in the Sandlot, that was good too. And he had the huge dog the kids were all afraid of.
Did I say Ray? James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
You'd think I would know my black people. Oh my goodness gracious. All right. Chris says I can explain, but there's a consultation fee, and he took his mask off.
He took his yeah. So I think Chris probably I'm know enough to be dangerous of the Star Wars stuff, but I'm not like I would consider myself like with these hardcore experts. When it gets to stuff like the battles and stuff, like I don't know what all the battles are called and all that, and there's so much. There's been you have the movies, which is I guess the core story, or they consider that the canon. But I wonder like who comes up with these other stories? Who like blesses that to say that that's the actual story? To fill in the blank all the time between the movies. I don't know who gets to decide that that's actual the story, or just somebody comes up with before anybody else and said, okay, well that's how it happened.
Well, I'm sure there's got to be somebody that makes a decision as to this is plausible. This is not, because you got to think they probably have 1,000 ideas submitted to them all the time.
Yeah, like does George Lucas have to sign off on them, or he probably doesn't even care? He may care. I don't know.
Somebody cares for him because there's a
lot of money. Yeah,
there's a lot of money involved.
Exactly.
So, all right, sir. Well, I'm going to let you go here, and I thank you again. We'll be in touch. I'll let you know when this is published.
Okay.
And we'll have to talk about maybe doing another box with you guys.
Yeah, definitely. Let us know. We'll get your account signed up and give it another whirl.
All right, sounds good.
All right,
thanks, sir. Take care.
See ya.